Ever been in a group conversation and felt completely invisible? Everyone's laughing, bouncing off each other, finishing each other's sentence, and you're just standing there frozen, wondering, when do I jump in? What do I even say? If that's you, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. I struggled for years myself. I'm Johnny, and in this video, I'll break down why group conversations feel so overwhelming and 5 practical ways to actually feel part of them, even if you struggled your whole life. So why do group conversations feel so hard? Here's the truth. Group conversations aren't easy, even for confident people. If you've got social anxiety, they feel 10 times harder. So why is that? The first reason is cognitive overload. Your brain is trying to track multiple people at once. Their tone, their body language, the timing, the topic changes. It's like trying to juggle while riding a bike. Then there's fear of judgment. Social anxiety makes your brain overestimate how much people notice your silence or any small slip up. That constant self-monitoring eats up mental energy. Then the speed factor. Group chats move fast. Topics change before you've even formed your sentence. Psychologists call this the processing lag. You're stuck drafting the perfect response while everyone else has moved on. And finally, the pressure to perform. You think you need to drop a funny joke or a genius point to earn your spot, but that pressure keeps you silent. So it's not that you're boring or socially broken, it's that your brain is overloaded, anxious, and looking for the perfect moment that rarely exists. So here are 5 tips that will stop this. Tip 1, start with easy add-ons. One of the lowest pressure ways to join in is with tiny add-ons. You don't need a story, you don't need a punchline, just short words or phrases that show you're engaged. For example, things like wow, or that's crazy, so cool, no way, same here, that's true. These micro comments may feel small, but they're powerful. They signal that you're part of the conversation, and often someone will turn towards you and expand the conversation naturally. Think of it like putting your foot in the door instead of waiting for someone to invite you in. Tip 2 is to ask simple questions. When you don't know what to say, ask a question about what's already being talked about. For example, where was that? Wait, how did that happen? Who were you with? How long did that take? The trick here is to not overthink. Ask what you're genuinely curious about, even if it seems obvious. People love talking about themselves, and questions keep the spotlight off you while keeping you engaged. These questions actually buy you time too. While you're answering, your brain gets a moment to relax, and maybe you can think of your own small comment to add. Tip 3 is to share mini stories. You don't need some epic story to contribute. In fact, short, simple stories work way better. For example, if people are talking about video games, you could say, mate, once I got so addicted to FIFA, I played every day for a month. Or if they're talking about school or work, you might say, I had a teacher who'd always tell a random dad joke mid-class. It was the most awkward thing ever. These mini stories are relatable, quick, and don't hijack the conversation. Think of them as little snapshots, not movies. Tip 4 is body language and presence. Sometimes the biggest shift isn't what you say, it's how you look like you're part of the group. So make sure to stand or sit where you're inside the circle, not hanging back, and lean in slightly towards the group. Make eye contact with whoever's talking and react with your face. Smile, raise your eyebrows in surprise, laugh when others laugh. You can also use little sounds like yeah, or a chuckle. All of these show you're tuned in. And here's the cool part. If you've been doing that, when you finally speak, it doesn't feel out of nowhere. The group already feels like you've been in the conversation the whole time. Tip 5, don't wait for the perfect gap. One of the biggest mistakes is waiting for total silence to speak, but group conversations don't work like that. They're messy, with overlaps and interruptions. It's okay to jump in during small pause, even if 2 people are still reacting. That's normal group rhythm. If you wait for absolute silence, you'll almost always miss your chance. So give yourself permission to overlap a little. It's not rude, that's just how groups flow. So if group conversations feel impossible, remember, you don't need to be the loudest guy in the room. You just need small reps, a little add-on, a simple question, a mini story. Combine that with good presence, and you'll slowly start to feel included. Try one of these tips in your next group conversation. You'll be surprised how much easier it feels. And if you found this helpful, hit subscribe for more videos like this.